Welcome to the third and final day of Wales Rally GB. This iconic rally has saved the best till last, and the battle at the front is raging. The rally running nearly 2 months earlier than its usual November slot this year, the post-summer blue skies were beaming down over the Welsh valleys. Not that it made conditions any easier for the drivers over the first 2 days. Although not raining, the stages were still wet from earlier showers, making conditions treacherous. Mudmeister Peter Solberg took the early lead on day one.
Left over crest, 6 right, half long, tight, stick 5.
Solberg's reign at the top didn't last long, however. The Fiesta was the machine of choice in the wet conditions. Despite a heavy impact on stage 2, Jari-Matti Latvala soon found an unbeatable rhythm to take the lead on stage 3. And 3 times winner in the Welsh Valley, Sebastian Loeb followed suit on the same stage, unable to match the flying Latvala, but passing Solberg for second place. Meanwhile, Mads Østberg was having a storming rally as the best of the rest in his privately run Ford Fiesta. Just a minor scare early on after clouting a rock beyond performance to end the day in 4th. But the big surprise came in the form of Mikko Hirvonen. Just couldn't get to grips with his DS3 in the slippery conditions. Citroen's number 2 languished down in 5th. Not to be outdone by Loeb, Peter Solberg rediscovered his rhythm to repass Sebastian Loeb during the afternoon loop to take second overall.
Into 6 right, plus half long, 30. Keep her right over long crest, 6 left.
And out front, Latvala was dominating, taking all 4 stage wins, and with that, the Blue Oval closed out day 1 for the first time since Portugal in a 1-2 position. And a thick layer of fog greeted the spectators and the drivers on day 2. And with the 4 boys both still pushing, they nearly paid a heavy price. Solberg was the first to drop a wheel in the ditch, while Latvala too very nearly slid off the road just moments later.
Opens half long to crest, opens long over crest, 80, line, opens long, tightens, cut, half long, opens, 60, slight left, slight right, 120, line, don't cut, 6 left, extra long, tight, 5 plus up.
Meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb was starting to find his rhythm in the conditions. The Frenchman was giving it his all and starting to eat his way into Solberg's advantage. And things simply have been improving, well, slightly for Loeb, but not for Mikko. The Finn simply couldn't match the pace of the 4 cars ahead, and he continued to slip away.
Oh, it's just so slippy that we are... I really don't understand why we can't do any times.
Well, in contrast, 4th placed Østberg took his first stage win on gravel for over 3 years.
It can be a good day, and it started really well.
Further down the field, the young pretenders were at it. Oyst Tanak in an in-house battle with his M-Sport teammate Evgeny Novikov for 6th place. Novikov was pushing, but his teammate had the edge. And the state...
I don't understand that, because in Finland we had a problem. My tires were wearing a lot, and it just felt really other way around. So it's interesting how it's that way in Wales.
Well, the world champion was baffled. There was no clear indication why Loeb's Citroen was so much harder on tires than the Ford.
We have to push very hard to try to do the time we are doing. So maybe for that we are a bit more aggressive with tires.
Well, into the afternoon loop then, and after a few setup tweaks, Peter Solberg was back on song, and the Norwegian regained the time he had lost to Loeb in the morning. Meanwhile, Latvala looks stronger than ever in the top spot. The factory Fords head into day 3 aiming for the first 1-2 finish of 2012.
120 oikein 3. Jatkuu se 3, älä panssari.
Well, here's how it stands then after 2 days. Latvala is out in front with Solberg second, but the gap between himself and Loeb is just 6.4 seconds. Östberg in a fantastic fourth with Herman in fifth. Tanak, Novikov and Thierry Neuville close out the top 8. Well, the final day features a return to 3 South Wales stages not used last year with Port Talbot and Riola, followed by a trip back to Walters Arena, which hosted shakedown and qualifying, the second pass of which will run as the power stage. So South Africa's Yanni Habig leads the cruise away on the final day, followed by the ever-animated Paolo Nobre in the Mini. The first of the high flyers comes in the form of Mikko Hirvonen. He goes 10th. Mads Östberg goes 11th with the top 3 of Loeb, Solberg and finally Jari Matti closing out the WRC starters today. Well, Julian, into special stage 14, the first stage of the day, Port Talbot, 17 kilometres. Jules, and what were the conditions like out there this morning?
Well, it was, again, it's considering we've come forward a couple of months, it was still slippy and muddy. You can see there, quite tricky for the guys out there. It's not an easy stage, very, very fast this stage. When we did it on the recce, unbelievably brave you need to be in here. Some very, very heavy stuff.
Evgeny, we could hear you revving the engine there as if you went straight on or something or got stuck.
The end of the stage was a bit slippery, so some corners were very slippery and the braking also. So just before a very tight corner, yes, missed a bit the braking, and that's all.
Well, Julian, a battle between Tanak and Novikov. Novikov with that off, really handing the advantage to Oyt Tanak.
Well, that's it. Oyt won't know about it, obviously, because he's running behind him on the road. But it didn't make any difference, because Tanak made a mistake as well. The two youngsters seem to fall off each other in the same time.
Both pushing very hard. That's what happens when you push in that manner. Mikko Hirvonen, Julian, a really disappointing rally for him. He needs to find a bit of pace today, a bit of confidence ahead of the last 3 rounds of the year.
That's it. With the two guys behind him spinning and going off, that took the pressure off him from behind. But he needs to try and get this pace up. And tell you what, there's a more rejuvenated Mikko Hirvonen.
Something was working well in that car for him this morning. I saw him over breakfast, Julian, and he was happy with the way he'd driven, just wasn't finding the time. Mads Östberg, what a dramatic start to the morning he had even before he got to the stage.
Well, that was it. On the scanner, he was calling for his dad on the radio. I need to speak to my dad, I need to speak to my dad. There was a misfire on the car, really, really bad.
They were within 5 seconds of retiring this morning, Julian. They were moving the car to a safer place when it restarted.
That's it. But, the big problem was on uphill. It just was struggling.
Lads, on the road section to the stage, there's lots of gossip and talking on the radio. What exactly is wrong?
I don't know. I don't have the slides out there. Something with the engine. It's not running as it's supposed to do, but we are pushing hard anyway. So,
well, certainly concerning times for us, but we're staying ahead of Mikko Hirvonen into our top 3 now, Julian.
That's it. And Petter wasn't really under pressure for anyone behind him other than that man, Sebastian Loeb.
Not really pressure at all then, was it? Really great battle ahead this morning between Solberg and Loeb. Loeb has been quicker than Solberg on the morning, the first passes of the rally so far. Let's see what he can do in this stage.
Into 5 left plus, long, opens, 60. Slight left, 40. Cut 6 right, half long, keep in, 50.
It's a 6.4 second advantage he had over this man. I tell you what, that's nothing.
Nothing when you've got Sebastian Loeb chasing you down. Well, Loeb was certainly on a mission this morning, Julian, and he mastered the first stage of the day.
That's it. Both cars were working really, really well. The Citroen's working, but the damper, the muddier it is, they seem to have the traction. It's when it starts to dry out that they struggle. This morning, they were back on it, and it was scaring Petter Solberg, that's for sure.
I think the stage was a bit better for us today, so I tried. We will see. It's still 5 stages to go, so we have to try.
Well, he certainly pushed pretty hard through there, Sebastian Loeb. Petter Solberg with that lead over him going into the final day. It is a slender 6.4 seconds for the stage.
Yeah, the splits haven't been looking good, though. 5 seconds slower.
How the hell did they do that?
Petter, you're going to have to dig deep in the next one. Loeb took quite a bit out of you there.
Yeah, he did, and I was pushing, you know. I did maybe one small mistake, but Yeah.
Well, you can't afford any mistakes with Sebastian Loeb pushing down. So Peter Solberg with a lot of pressure on him. But what's the pressure like on this man this morning, Julian? A big lead going into the final day. Is he going to feel the pressure?
Yeah, probably more now than at any other time. I mean, it's a healthy lead, which is the time when he's not really got anything to push for other than to stay in lead. I mean, even over the jump, though, he's nervous. He's really, really careful. Tell you what, it was a good, solid run, though.
To be honest, I've never been so great on this stage. The Portal, I don't know why it doesn't suit my driving style. So it's all right that we have now done it, so we can move on to the next stage.
Well, Latvia's lead remains close to half a minute, but Solberg, he's in trouble. The gap between Loeb and Solberg just now 1.4 seconds. Further back, Novikov's off leaves him almost 40 seconds behind Tanak, despite his teammates' own mistake. So, as expected, Loeb is on the attack in South Wales. Can Solberg hang on to second? Join us again in a few minutes to find out. Welcome back then to the final day of Wales Rally GB. Sebastian Loeb is on the hunt. He's closed the gap to Solberg in the runner-up spot to just 1.4 seconds as the cars head out for today's first runs through Riola and Walters Arena.
Yeah, it's been a tough weekend for Thierry Neuville, first on the road on Friday. I feel he's struggled, to be fair, first time here.
But he has struggled. He's been used to really pushing in the top 5 or 6, Julian. He's well outside that just now.
And obviously the arena first jump as you enter the arena area. Remember, they were here for qualifying, so they have a little bit of knowledge. But also the stage either is going to be in better condition, cleaned, or it's going to be worse from being chewed up.
Mazersberg, Julian, a real scare for him in the previous stage. Pushing on though.
So he's still got that misfire, which he's concerned about. But it's on uphill sections. He's going downhill there, so he's just got to keep his foot in and hope it's all right. You can hear it.
Sebastian Loeb, well, it's really all about chasing down Peter Solberg for Loeb. Did a great job in the first stage of the morning, pushing hard now to take that second spot.
He is pushing hard. Obviously, he's trying to just claw as much as he can in the conditions that favour him and favour the cars we've seen over the weekend. Soft tyres all round again this morning, Colin. They were starting to run out of those soft tyres.
We didn't see much of the hard tyres over the weekend, and these conditions that you can see here are exactly why. You can see that it's still a bit damp, slippery, muddy on the surface there, and well, the hard tyres just would be a nightmare to drive on, Julian. But as you say, soft tyres this morning, the right choice.
It's a long climb up that hill. It's all about keeping the momentum, keeping the speed.
Since the start of the rally, we struggled in the afternoon, so the morning it has always been okay. So we have to see this afternoon how it goes.
6 right along.
Solberg needs to respond. Deals to that first stage charge from Sebastian Loeb, but he doesn't want to make any mistakes. He can't afford to have, say, a grease moment where he put it off trying to chase Sebastian Loeb. He wants that second place, though.
Well, he does want that second place, and he's just lost it there to Petter and Loeb. And it's tough. Again, he just loses just a little bit. It's not one big moment he has. He's just gradually over the stage, and Petter can't put his finger on why. I mean, we're talking tenths of a second here, Colin.
It's been the story of the weekend, though. The Fords losing a little time to Sebastian Loeb on the first pass, but Solberg losing a little bit of time to Loeb on the first pass, getting it all back, though, on the second pass.
It's just like poetry in motion through there, watching these guys.
1+ tightens. Keep left over 100, line, 4 right plus long, tightens 3, tightens, opens, keep right over 8.
Well, we lost a little bit and got some time back at the end, but the only case, though, even Mikko is fast, you know, so yeah, you just have to keep on pushing and see if you can do something in the service.
Well, we're back on board, Julian, with Jari-Matti Latvala.
It can only be going at that speed. It can only be, it's like a wild ride, isn't it?
Again, you know, look at those conditions out there. It is typical Wales Rally GB. Even although we are 2 months earlier, it's slippery out there between the trees. It's narrow. It's so fast. requires full commitment. We know one of the bravest drivers out there is Latvala, and that, Jules, is why he revels in these conditions.
He's been flawless this weekend, absolutely flawless.
Hasn't really had a moment, has he? He's had one or two little
he had one yesterday, didn't he? That was a huge one. That was big enough anyway. Just listen. The speed down there. It's just sheer belief in the car, the tyres, the co-driver, everything.
So many stages in here that Latvala enjoys. So there we are. Jari-Matti Latvala extending his lead at the top. Solberg slips even further behind Loeb. The difference now 2.9 seconds. Despite those engine problems, Mads Østberg remains in fourth, with Hirvonen in fifth. Straight on then, Julian, to stage 17 and 18, the rerunning of the Port Talbot and the Riola stages. This is the business end of the rally.
Mads Østberg back out. He'd been into service. The car was better, particularly in this first stage, but he started to come back a little bit to the misfire, struggling a little bit. Again, he says, but when it's on downhill, he's fine. He's just on the uphill, but nowhere near as bad this afternoon.
The interesting thing is he kept that promise at the end of the stage. He didn't want Mikko Hirvonen to know that he still had that problem.
Yeah, well, he did say that, didn't he? He said the car's fixed itself, but then you could hear it when he left the circuit, and we're like, oh, he's not telling us the truth there.
And you know what? He's had such a brilliant weekend. His pace been so close to the boys at the top.
That's it. Fourth overall at the end of it.
Mads Endo Wales Rally GB, fourth place overall. It's been a very, very positive rally.
Yeah, for sure. It's been very positive. I'm very pleased with the weekend, and especially after today, I've been very concerned about the engine, and we thought we fixed it on the service, but straight away after service, the problem was there, so I just kept it quiet. So the cars that Mikko didn't know, but it's been a big challenge this afternoon. The engine is going slower and slower, so we have been pushing really hard towards the end of the rally not to lose time, and I'm just very happy that we have been able to go in this speed this weekend and proven a lot.
So Jules is back to that battle, that incredible battle between Petter Solberg and Sebastian Loeb. We know Solberg has been quicker this weekend on the second pass. He's got to be quicker than Loeb through here, Julian, but my goodness me, we know how fast, how much Loeb wants this second place.
That's it. I mean, everyone's been saying over the weekend, Loeb doesn't need to push, he doesn't need to push, but he's desperate to it. And this man's having to drive way, way on the limit to try and get that second place back. Remember, he was behind coming into the final stage. He's got to try, sorry, going into the second last stage, he's got to try and get it back.
He really does. You're saying Loeb doesn't need to push, but he wants to push. He wants to beat Petter Solberg out here this afternoon, but it is going to go right down to the wire.
Second or third is a good result, but they desperately want second place. A Ford 1-2 would be brilliant, but I've got a feeling there could be a French Citroën in amongst them.
Well, what do we have? 4 Citroën 1-2s in a row?
It was a little bit tricky, but they kept him on the same pace, so it took me a little bit. And the last stage, I was leading, and I did a small mistake. I didn't want to risk anything, basically, you know. So I lost a little bit too much time there, and I got it back quite close at the end again. But a podium is actually more important than destroying a rally, and you know, see what's happening in Greece. So I could have gone faster, but I think this is okay.
Stage 19 was Walters Arena. Petter Solberg there at the end of the rally. Third place, Julian. He was happy with his podium, but stage 19 was really where Sebastian Loeb nailed it. He was, what, 0.1 of a second ahead of Petter Solberg going into the stage. At one point in the stage, Solberg was ahead of Loeb, but Loeb kept his cool, kept his calm, composed approach, Julian, and, you know, he took that second place at the very, very last part of the stage.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was incredible how, as we keep saying about Loeb, he just has this desire after so many wins, after so many championships, this desire just to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. He loves taking every single point out of anybody he can. And in the power stage, he was still pushing, obviously, for that. He's always aware it as well at the end of stage. Whether he's like kind of always looking at the final stage, have I got the power stage as well? He wants every point.
He does. He really does. Sebastian Loeb, what was it, Julian? 5 wins in a row. He didn't win this one, but he gave us some tremendous entertainment out there this afternoon in that real ding-dong battle with Petter Solberg.
Yeah, it's not a second, so for sure it was a great fight with Peter. We had to fight until the last corner of the last stage, and no, it was exciting. We were 0.1 in front before the last one, so we had to give everything in this one, and finally we've done it. So yeah, it was a really nice end of rally.
Hard-fought second place for Sebastian Loeb here on Wales Rally GB. But what can we say, Julian, about our rally winner, Jari-Matti Latvala, that we've not already said? Hugely impressive performance from the young Finn this weekend.
Yeah, calm, collected and controlled. Now, you wouldn't expect me to say that about Jari-Matti Latvala in the same sentence.
Yeah, and he really just didn't try too hard. He seemed to be enjoying himself out there. He wasn't pushing, didn't struggle at all with the setup of the car, and it came so easily to Jari-Matti this weekend. The pace, Julian, was massively impressive.
This is what we see with Latvala. For me, this is what we see with him, because we have days and we have weekends like this where he is untouchable. And then we have other weekends where we just wonder where he's gone.
Well, he's hopeless.
Yeah,
he certainly wasn't hopeless this weekend. He was, again, proving what a lot of people think, that he is naturally the fastest driver in the World Rally Championship. He isn't the best, because the best is Sebastian Loeb, but he is the fastest.
He is for sure, and he was absolutely on it in the final stage, trying to take some more points out of the final stage, but the victory was what they wanted, and that's what they got.
Jari and the Wales Rally GB, and it's an emotional victory. There's pandemonium here.
It is a fantastic feeling. I really said it's, you know, this is one of my favorite rallies. This is a difficult rally. I won it last year, and it's my first time when I'm winning the same rally after the next year, and it feels amazing. It's been such a big battle, but to be honest, Tim Ham, this victory is for the team, because they have done so much work. And the guys been working so well in this rally, and I'm really happy with the setup.
Also, it's been like kind of a really super calm performance as well.
It's been a great performance, because there were some doubts after Rally Finland, but we came back strong, and it's good for the championship.
So confirmation then that Jari-Matti makes it 2 wins in a row on Wales Rally GB. Sebastian Loeb takes a dramatic second, and Peter Solberg has to settle for third.
Malcolm Wilson, I'll tell you what, very, very pleased to spray that champagne.
It's been a long time, Julian, since he did that. Sweden this year, since the Ford World Rally team won last round. Well, in the Drivers' Championship, Loeb's lead over Mikko Hirvonen now stands at a massive 61 points. Solberg in third moves to within 39 points of Mikko. In the manufacturers, Citroen's lead over Ford is reduced, but still stands at an impressive 111 points.
Here we go, they juice bottles, and takes quite a bit of effort.
Malcolm's already sprayed his. Jari-Matti gets his chance to spray theirs. I mean, what a weekend.
What a weekend for Ford. What a weekend for Jari-Matti. So Wales Rally GB delivered an impressive return to form for the Ford World Rally team, and in particular for Jari-Matti Latvala. It's back to the tarmac next as we return to Alsace for the Rally de France. Join us again in 3 weeks for a French Festival of Speed.
Share all the excitement of the WRC with Total Quartz lubricants.
Peggy 3.
What makes a driver a champion? Determination, speed, courage. There are many drivers with these qualities, but they're not always enough to make a champion. A champion needs something more. When you push yourself to the limits, there is only one thing that can really make the difference: control. This is your challenge. This is WRC3.